Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Very stupid o'clock, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and if you're wondering why I'm distracted, my kitty's being exceptionally cute and put his paw on my leg. He's right here, my co-host. He's just a little shy. Yes, the Brahmin cat is a shy kitten. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we get into it, the usual disclaimers. First off, you are going to find the link to this NYC 2006 report right after the Evelyn and Antoine Nicholson versus the JRC in Freeport School District, right there in the description box, where you will also find Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject of the JRC. You are also going to find the templates. Sign your name, click on your senator. We are trying to end seclusion, improper restraints, and adversive therapies in all schools. It kills people every single year, folks. We also have the ever present and self explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, folks, when we speak about the JRC, trigger warning, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and see clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you have young children present, folks, please use your headphones, all right, at the very least. Now, it is 4:26 a.m., stupid o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. So, it may be a little later than usual, but if you all think I am actually awake and coherent yet, no, I got news for you, all right? So, if I stumble over any of my words this morning, my apologies, folks, in advance, all right? Also, my voice might be a little weird. Allergies have been kicking my butt since yesterday. So, yeah, sorry about that. All right, kitten, we're getting started. Any commentaries? His commentaries is he sleeps now. He sleeps on the binky, which is the blanket. Okay, so going here, just trying to alleviate some of the tenseness and alleviates a little bit of the horror by telling you how cute the cat is. Sorry. Findings. Some students at JRC are forced to exhibit target behaviors, so adversive behavioral interventions can be used. Some of the most sick shit I've ever heard. So, folks, calm down, T. I've got mine. I'm waiting for it to cool. So, let's get into it, all right? JRC's policy includes a procedure called a behavioral rehearsal lesson. Now we're going to get into what exactly this is. It's psychotic. BRL was reported by staff to be used infrequently and only for low-frequency, high-intensity behaviors. What? Also, I'll ask again, what the fuck is a low-frequency behavior? Are we a damn radio? Do we emit radio waves of inappropriate behavior? Is that what they're trying to say here? That's not even a freaking scientific term. What the fuck? No, seriously, in the comments, folks, can you all explain to me what the fuck a low frequency, high intensity behavior is supposed to be? What is your opinion? What do you think that is? Let me know. BRL involves an intervention that essentially forces a student to exhibit a target behavior so that the student can receive an adversive consequence for it. Is that not fucked up? That is the most fucked up and abusive shit I have heard of in my goddamn life. And it makes no coherent sense. If the student's default setting is to not engage in the behavior, Why the fuck are you pushing them to it so you can punish them for it? So that they know that it's wrong, is what they'll say. Like, obviously, they already knew it was fucking wrong if they refused to do it in the first place. If you have to push them to do it, if you have to force them to do it, they know it's wrong. You are literally abusing them just to abuse them. It's insane. How that anyone can think this is scientific and would actually help anyone is beyond me. Staff reported that this type of behavioral intervention is difficult to participate in and dramatic to watch. Really? It's insane. It is insane. And anyone who had any actual real fucking training, who weren't just straight out of fucking high school, would know it was insane. God damn. It was reported by a JRC staff member that one of the BRL episodes involved holding a student's face still while staff person went for his mouth with a pen or a pencil, threatening to stab him in the mouth while repeatedly yelling, "You want to eat this." This is insane, people. This is insane. So this is actually backing up the same incident that Jennifer Masumba talked about having witnessed. So anyone who says, but it's not what they're saying, bullshit. This is an independent investigation backing up what Jennifer Masumba said. Come at me. The goal was to adversely treat the student's target behavior of putting sharp objects in the mouth. How the fuck is that going to do anything other than goddamn traumatize the kid? Really? We're going to traumatize the kid into getting the reaction that they want. If the kid didn't want to eat it in the damn first place, why are you forcing them so that you can punish them? Make it make sense. It was reported that during a BRL, the student would still receive a GED for exhibiting inappropriate behavior. Oh my God. So think about this. So even if they exhibited inappropriate behavior, they get shocked anyway. Anyway. Just less than for exhibiting a targeted behavior. For example, 5 GED applications would be given for a target behavior, such as mouthing towards the object, as opposed to 1 GED application for appropriate behavior, such as turning away from the object. Really? And that makes it better? JRC reported that 9 NYS students are approved for the use of a BRL, and as of the second visit, none have been conducted on these students. Why the fuck is this being approved by anyone? Anyone who approves this shit should have their license removed immediately, and they should be never allowed to work in healthcare. I don't think they should be even allowed to work in fast food. God. Findings. There is a limited evidence of comprehensive functional behavioral assessments, FBAs, in accordance with the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act being conducted at JRC. Oh, they're not obeying the IDEA? Color me shocked. Color me shocked. JRC's website includes the following statement. We are very familiar with the field of functional analysis, but frankly, we have little use for it at JRC. This statement and result practice at JRC are contrary to the findings in peer-reviewed journals demonstrating the effectiveness of functional analysis in finding effective, non-aversive interventions for problem behaviors and the requirements of the IDEA for the functional behavioral assessments. We have little use for it. You see, we torture the autism and the disability and the mental health issues out of them. Okay? We traumatize them so much that we turn them into unfeeling fucking zombies. That's what they're saying. Just saying. Excuse me, allergies. JRC relies heavily on brief observations of student behavior in combination with a history of the student's problems to recommend use of adversive behavioral interventions because they go just directly for it. They don't even try anything else. The JRC's process for assessing problem target behaviors lacks specific information on the function cause of the actual behavior and primarily seeks to eliminate behavior through the use of punishment, including adversive interventions. Fucking thank you! Thank you! Folks, by the way, that's ABA. ABA never goes into trying to find the target, the root problem that is causing the issue. ABA will instead teach that kid to mask, to be normal, to endure whatever it is that is causing the issue without reacting. Basically torturing the kid low level when they're not stuck at this hellhole. Everybody fucking knows who has any kind of functioning logic whatsoever that if you want to deal with a behavior that's happening, you find out, you dig, you get to the root of the issue, and you handle that. And then guess what? Almost like magic, the issue disappears. The issue disappears, folks. So, moving on. I'm just pointing out JRC is hardly unique in this view. Review of students' program plans did not reveal the identification of or interventions to be used to address the functions the behaviors were serving for the students. Thank you. That they are coping. What are they coping from? JRC doesn't give a damn. Let's shock them. JRC's process for assessing behaviors does not employ standard practice of analyzing, God, I can't talk today, of behaviors, which incorporates multiple methods in identifying the function cause of problem target behaviors. JRC's use of restraints for self-abusive behavior or the attention paid to the student's negative behaviors were not even considered as possible reinforcers of negative behaviors. Yet at least one student's record indicated increases in behaviors when these interventions were employed. Thank you. There was no systematic focus on recording antecedent behaviors in order to modify or eliminate triggers so that the problem behaviors as well as the punishing consequences could be prevented. Thank you! Oh my God! Logic has entered into the chat. Logic has entered into the chat. Thank you. I've been saying it over and over and over again. If you want to eliminate a behavior, you find out what's triggering it and you work on that. It's not rocket science. You don't even need a degree to be able to wrap your brain around it. Thank you, New York. Baseline data is not collected on behaviors across settings. Important incremental progress. A student may make a target behavior can be missed because JRC only gathers data on broad, generic behavior categories: aggression, health dangerous behavior, destructive behavior, major disruptive behavior, and non-compliant behavior. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, folks, for this morning. So what have we learned today, kids? Well, we've learned quite a few things. First of all, my like of New York has gone up considerably since reading through this morning. New York City, through this investigation, has introduced logic into the chat. And this sort of logic not should just only apply to the JRC, but to everywhere. They put case in point why ABA fails time and again. We'll get in that part in a moment. So first off, they noticed that the JRC does absolutely no analyzation, do any kind of assessment of behaviors or where they come from as the student comes in. They do not follow anything on their IEP, their ITP, or the IDEA plans when they come into the school, period. They basically ignore it like it doesn't even exist. Their education is subpar and is literally all geared, all of it, for them to produce appropriate behaviors. What the fuck is appropriate behavior? Can somebody explain this to me? Because there's this broad, like, non-reachable idea that non-disabled people have of this idea of appropriate normal behavior. And the fact of the matter is, these folks themselves don't even act with normal, appropriate behavior a good majority of the time. But we're going to hold these folks with disabilities up to this standard here. This appropriate behavior, normal behavior standards that we ourselves, the non-disabled people, can't even reach. But we're going to hold them up to it. And if they don't reach it, we're going to punish them for it. We're not going to try and find out why they can't do it, what's triggering behaviors, or even, have any form of acceptance that maybe this is just how they are. And just like we accept other minorities, we should accept people with disabilities as they are. Yeah. No, none of that. None of that. No assessments, none of it. Sorry. I went kind of in left field and took a left. Not only that, but New York provided the case verbatim why ABA and especially adversive ABA never fucking works. Okay? Number one, you can't use behavioral modification to treat a neurological disorder. It is based on a fallacy. It's based on this idea that it is attention-seeking, willful behavior. It's not. Even my meltdowns, they're not willful. I do not have control of those, okay? By the time I has hit that point, control has gone out the damn window. Control has gone way out the damn window, okay? I don't have them as frequently as I did when I was younger. Why? Because I know my triggers. And I know right when a trigger gets hit. A good majority of the time, I know what I need to do in order to address that trigger getting hit immediately so I don't go into meltdown and self-destructive behavior. This is not always possible, but a good majority of the time, I'm able to nip it in the bud. Okay? It's based on the fallacy that these behaviors that we exhibit are willful, that we made a decision, that we are seeking attention. Not true. That's bullshit. We could be having reactions and behaviors. A good majority of the time, we're either emotionally overwhelmed or sensory overwhelmed, or it's fucking both. Or it's fucking both at the same time. It is not willful. We cannot control how our brain neurons fire, okay? It's just how we are, it's how we're made. So, trying to then treat that with behavior modification, treating it like it's willful, telling parents to ignore the child when they are crying, screaming, because there's something wrong, is the wrong answer. It's the wrong answer. Okay? And New York said it absolutely beautifully here. We also got into the behavioral lessons, what those are, and why they are completely batshit insane. Instead of dealing with the target issue that causes kids to engage in, we call it pica or pica. You can pronounce it either way. Not everybody on the autism spectrums have it, but a few of us do. When I was little, for some reason, I either like to chew on a piece of rubber or like have a copper penny in my mouth. Some of us have pica, okay? I don't have pica anymore because I discovered cinnamon hard candy. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Some of us have pica or pica, in which case, we feel a need to use as a sensory coping mechanism to have something that's inedible inside our mouths. Okay? And they are addressing this issue by traumatizing the fuck out of the kid and then abusing them afterwards. And the fact of the matter is, even if they refuse to do the targeted behavior, they get shocked anyway. So we went over that, and yeah, New York was completely baffled by it. I don't blame them. So New York is doing its due diligence here. And the fact that the federal government has not read over this document and has not used it to launch a full-scale federal investigation into this place and get it closed down, get it fucking rated, is beyond me. All the evidence is there. We go over the evidence every single day on this channel. We need to push, not just to end the shocks, but we need to push for a full federal detailed investigation into this place. We need this place rated, for God's sake. And on that, we're going to go ahead and close out for this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Please don't forget to feed that algorithm. Bye-bye, everyone.